You know, that's a good idea, actually.
He likes wiener
He's
dogs.
harmless. He really is.
Okay, I'm letting Alana and Dawn in the meeting now.
Chris, you're live, eh?
No, we have him turned off and moved up.
Volume down,
It
right?
just doesn't
Oh,
show.
it doesn't show.
I'm gonna turn volume down just to make sure I don't get any of that echo.
Do I have to turn down my volume?
We turned yours right now.
Okay.
You should be on me.
We'll see if we get any feedback.
Your speakers should.
So does it go right down the volume?
What's that?
Are we supposed to have the volume right down?
Yeah. We can.
And just remember, like, if you do speak, which I don't believe anyone is, then you have to speak up.
Are we ready to go then? It's 12.
It's, yeah.
I can start. Right, call the regular meeting of council, the city of Kenora to order at 12 p.m. At this time, I'd ask Councillor Ross to read the blessing.
As we gather, we recognize that we are on Treaty 3 lands which are steeped in rich Indigenous history and home to many First Nations and Métis people today. We continue to be thankful for the partnerships with Indigenous people. We give thanks for the many blessings we enjoy in the city of Kenora. We seek wisdom in our minds, clearness in our thinking, truth in our speaking, and always love in our hearts, so that we may try always to unite the citizens of Kenora. Let these principles guide us in our decision making.
Thank you, Councillor. Public information notices. Try again. Okay. Public information notices. As required under Notice Bylaw 144-2007, the public is advised of Council's intention to adopt the following in today's meeting. Declare road allowances identified as PIN 42169-0243, PIN 42169-0244, and PIN 42169-0245 in the property described as PIN 42169-0162, surplus to the requirements of the municipality. Close the road allowances identified as PIN 42169-0243, PIN 42169-244, and PIN 42169-0245. This time I'd ask if any member of council wishes to declare a pecuniary interest, either on items on today's agenda or from a previous meeting, or from a meeting in which a member was not in attendance. Seeing none, I'd ask call for resolution number 1.
Your Worship, resolution number 1, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that the following minutes of the Council of the City of Kenora be adopted as circulated regular council of August 24, 2021 and August 31st, 2021.
All in favor? Carried. All right, we have 2 deputations this afternoon. Remind everyone that you have 5 minutes allotted for your speaking time. First presentation, call on Mrs. Mitchell, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Good afternoon, Mayor, Councillors, City staff, and members of the public. Thank you for this opportunity to speak on behalf of citizens who are concerned about Central Park being rezoned and proposed to be sold for residential development. My name is Dawn Mitchell, and I've been a resident of Keewatin since 2008. I previously owned a cheese shop, and I presently work as a French teacher. I'm also a bagpiper with Kenora Scottish Pipes and Drums. To start, I'd like to congratulate the city on the improvements underway on the east side of Central Park. It significant development in bringing this green space up to its full potential. We believe this is an important step for the future users of the space, whether it is hockey, volleyball, bocce ball, and the community as a whole. A well-designed park, and urban park, provides quality of life for residents, and it's good to see council support projects like this, as Central Park is near and dear to the hearts of so many residents. As proof of this strong support, we have for your consideration keeping all of Central Park petition with close to 1,200 signatures. These are people who want to keep the park an open space and intact. These citizens represent diverse backgrounds, but what they share is a commitment to an active, healthy lifestyle, sustainable development, respect for the environment, and the history of this shared space. Parks are not pleasant amenities simply, but they serve as a foundation to the social, economic, environmental, and mental health of communities. Central Park helped build this community of Kenora. This council has indicated that new housing is a priority for the city, and we agree on that. However, the development of new housing in the city and the preservation of limited green space in the downtown core is not an either-or proposition. We can have both new housing and the preservation of parks and green space. The preservation of Central Park does not preclude a commitment by the city of Kenora in addressing the housing issue. There are several key points that illustrate why Central Park being sold to a private developer is not the best option to meet your housing needs. Let me list them for you. Number one, there is no shortage of housing development. There is already a considerable number of applications in the system for new housing starts. A housing report that was sent to council several months ago from Master Planner Mr. Jeffrey Port indicated that there are over 430 housing units planned over the next 3 years. This does not include the most recent land sale by the city of Kenora near Evergreen School for the housing development. So there is no need to rezone and sell precious open space to meet housing needs. Number two, there is not broad public support for the sale of Central Park. The public does not support the sale of Central Park. Many citizens have spoken by calling, signing petitions, and rallying. We have collected just under 1,200 signatures opposing the rezoning and sale of private residential development. So it's clearly not just a neighborhood opposing the development. These are concerned citizens across the community coming together to ask you to listen to them. This is a grassroots effort to support good planning by promoting urban green space, active living, and sustainable development. Number three, the Park and Open Space Master Plan should determine the future of Central Park. The city is proceeding with the Parks and Green Space Master Plan that was tendered earlier this year. The future of Central Park should be evaluated as part of this master plan before any decisions are made to sell it. This is just good planning as opposed to a knee-jerk reaction poorly executed to try and solve a housing issue. Number four, it is not supported by the City of Kenora official plan. The proposed sale and development of Central Park does not conform with the City of Kenora official plan of 2015. This means that council is failing to follow their own land use for the development of the city. This appeal has been approved by the Ontario Land Tribunal, who has granted us a hearing on October the 7th. The failure of a municipality to follow its own land use plan should be a concern to all. Number five, the cost of this hearing will be borne by the City of Kenora taxpayers. The pending hearing with the Ontario Land Tribunal will be a lengthy and costly affair. The town taxpayers will have to pay the bills for the involvement in the hearing. This is not necessary, as the proposed development will do little or nothing to resolve the housing issue in Kenora. It is a waste of taxpayers' money. In summary, the City of Kenora should defer the decision to sell Central Park, as it is premature and the intended results are questionable at best. We do know that the sale of Central Park will reduce urban green space, which is in such short supply in our downtown core. This decision does not support active living, healthy lifestyles, and the sustainable development that our town purports to embrace. The City of Kenora should rescind the current planning amendment and put their time and money into concrete solutions for housing developments without negative impacts on precious parks and open space. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Mitchell, and appreciate the fact that you provided all your documentation directly to council. At this time, I'd request Ms. Bothwell to present.
As a member of Harvest Kenora moving forward, it's hard not to comment on the Central Park bid, but I'm here to talk about the proposed noise bylaw today. So I'm presenting on behalf of several individuals, many who have been kind of behind the scenes and not publicly on this letter, but I am speaking today on behalf of myself, Marlene Elder, Peter Kirby, and Nan Mormon. Dear City of Kenora Mayor and Council, this is in regards to the proposed noise bylaw. We are writing this letter to request a delay in the City Council vote concerning the proposed noise bylaw being considered at today's City Council meeting. While we recognize the importance of regulating noise pollution and ensuring that everyone can experience respectful and peaceful enjoyment of our community, we have a number of questions regarding the specific purpose and effect of the new bylaw, and we're seeking clarification on the bylaw structure, its definitions, its enforcement powers, and penalties. So first of all, we have questions around the purpose of the proposed noise bylaw. In the memo to CAO Kyle Atanasio of September 2021, City Clerk Heather Pilak and Enforcement Services Manager Heather Lajeunesse stated that the proposed new noise bylaw will establish rules to address areas where the former bylaw did not address. They stated that the city's current noise bylaw has not been reviewed or amended to address current trends in bylaw enforcement calls. So we are asking for details on the following. What are the current trends in bylaw enforcement calls that the new bylaw seeks to address? Have statistics been provided to show an increase in certain types of bylaw enforcement calls? What are the specific changes being proposed in the new bylaw, and how do they address identified enforcement gaps? We are also concerned about the potential effects of the proposed noise bylaw. So we would like to ask Council to seek an analysis of the bylaw's potential effects on various community members or groups. For example, we have some concerns around whether this bylaw could unfairly affect particular populations, including individuals in distress or experiencing mental health crises, people with disabilities who verbalize loudly or involuntarily, unhoused individuals, and victims experiencing interpersonal or domestic violence. In addition, has analysis been undertaken to determine potential effects on daycares, schools, families with young children, or on individuals participating in sports events, outdoor leisure, or informal community celebrations? Procedural considerations for the proposed noise bylaw. Were noise bylaws from other Ontario municipalities reviewed in the drafting of the proposed bylaw? Many noise bylaws, including procedural steps such as first instance warnings, graduated fines, or community dispute resolution practices. So we're also concerned about the broad definition and enforcement powers regarding unreasonable noise. So the new bylaw provides a very broad and discretionary definition of unreasonable noise. While the definition remains somewhat unclear, its wording could suggest that almost any noise taking place at any time of day could prompt a fine. Is this the intention of the bylaw? If so, are there practical guidelines being provided to enforcement officers for deeming noise to be unreasonable? Some municipalities use a defined schedule of decibel measurements to determine whether a noise bylaw should be applied. Considerations such as the repetitive, persistent, or unusual nature of a noise are listed in some municipal noise bylaws. Have these types of measurements or considerations been reviewed? While the current fine amount for yelling, shouting, whistling, singing, or playing musical instruments is not specifically listed in the current bylaw, it appears that the Provincial Offences Act sets such fines at $150. If this is the case, is there a reason for the new bylaw setting a $500 fine? for more than triple the current amount for the same types of noises. So this brings me to our request today to delay the vote on the proposed noise bylaw. As stated, we believe that the city has the ability and responsibility to monitor and respond to harmful noise and disturbances in our community. But we would ask, however, that further information and clarification be gathered and considered prior to City Council's vote on this bylaw. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I'd ask the clerk, has that been shared with has that report been shared with the document?
That she sent in.
Has she sent it? Has the second group? All right. Thank you very much. We'll move to additions to the agenda. We have none. Appointments, none. This time I'd ask for the reading of resolution number 2, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. The resolution number 2 reads, is moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Van Wellingham, that the Council hereby accepts the monthly financial statements of the Corporation of the City of Kenora at July 31st, 2021.
Sorry. All in favor? It's carried. Resolution number 3.
Resolution number 3, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Shannon. That Council hereby authorizes the service contract for city IT-related managed services to Boreal Datacom Inc. for a 3-year period commencing January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2024. Further, 3 readings be given to a bylaw to authorize the contract for this purpose.
All in favor? Carried. Are you fine with us just passing the resolutions out at the end? Okay, so we'll just hold the resolutions because of the way we're configured,
Yeah.
and then I'll sign them all at the end. All right, thank you. Could I ask you, though, if you could tick the box that indicates Councillor McMillan is absent today? All right, thank you. Resolution number 4.
Resolution number 4, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Van Wallingham, that Council gives 3 readings to a bylaw to adopt a new noise bylaw for the City of Kenora, and further, that Council hereby authorize the application of new set fines for a bylaw to regulate noise and the application of the Attorney General's Office to the Attorney General's Office for the approval of such set fines, and further, that bylaw number 27-2007 be hereby repealed.
All in favor? It's carried. Resolution number 5.
Resolution number 5, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Goss. Whereas in the spirit of reconciliation, the City of Kenora acknowledges that we are on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and Métis of Treaty Number 3, and whereas the City recognizes the importance of a strong relationship with our Treaty 3 partners, and whereas the Truth and Reconciliation Commission released its final report on June 2, 2015, which included 94 calls to action to redress the legacy of residential schools and advance the process of Canadian reconciliation. And whereas the recent discoveries of remains and unmarked graves across Canada have led to increased calls for all levels of government to address the recommendation in the TRC's call to action. And whereas all Canadians and all levels of government have a role to play in reconciliation. And whereas recommendation number 80 of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission called upon the federal government in collaboration with Aboriginal peoples to establish as a statutory holiday a National Day for Truth and Reconciliation to ensure that public commemoration of the history and legacy of residential schools remains a vital component of the reconciliation process. And whereas the federal government has announced September 30th, 2021 as the first National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, National Orange Shirt Day, and a federal statutory holiday, And whereas council authorizes city facilities closed for half of the day on September 30th to provide staff the period of time to attend a pathway of educational sessions pertaining to residential school survivors and commit as an entire organization to reconciliation through these educational activities. Now therefore be it resolved that Council of the City of Kenora does hereby commit to recognizing September 30th, 2021 as the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, National Orange Shirt Day, and encourages all citizens to sharing the story of residential school survivors with their families and communities, which will aid in moving forward together in reconciliation.
All in favor? Carried. Resolution number 6.
Your worship, resolution number 6, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that council hereby receives the Engineering and Infrastructure Services third quarter update as presented.
At this time, I would invite Kevin Gannon to speak, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Through the chair, there was a question that was posed through the presentation for the third quarter report with regards to the project of Railway Street and the stormwater replacement that's happening in the same area. I wanted to create and provide some clarity to council concerning this project. Through the report on the 2020 Municipal Stormwater Works project, it indicated that the removal and replacement of stormwater system on Railway Street between Stitsky Road and Pump Avenue was planned to take place this year. Where the overlap within the railway project is that due to some significant storm damage and issues that were placed near Superior Propane, the work was incorporated within our Storm Works project in order to allow us to move forward adequately with the phase 2 of the project. I also want to advise council that the ICP funding only incorporates the hard surfacing and the realignment of the poles. So regardless, this would have been 100% funded through the reserve. So I thank you for the question and the ability to provide some clarity on that.
Good. Call the question then. All in favor? Carried. Resolution number 7.
Thank you, Your Worship. Resolution number 7, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Poirier, reads as follows: that a council gives 3 readings to a bylaw to authorize an extension of the contract agreement between the City of Kenora and Chad Gropp as established in the original agreement authorized by bylaw number 137-2018 for operation of the Kenora Recreation Centre concession for 1 additional season ending July 31st, 2022.
All in favor? Carried. Resolution number 8.
Resolution number 8, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Poirier, that council hereby receives the Community Services Department quarterly update ending August 2021.
All in favor? Carried. Resolution number 9.
Resolution number 9, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Van Wallaham, that council hereby approves an application to the Rural Economic Development Program for the design, development, and installation of new streetscaping elements in the Harbourtown Centre in the amount of $45,000, and further, that the City of Kenora confirms its financial commitment of up to $10,000 to be funded through the municipal accommodation tax, and further, that council hereby approves any cost overruns with the project.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 10.
Resolution number 10, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Poirier, that council hereby approves an application to the Government of Canada Rural Transit Solutions Fund for the development of a micro-transit feasibility study.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 11.
Your Worship, resolution number 11, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that the council of the City of Kenora close road allowances identified as PIN 42-169-0243, PIN 42-169-244, and PIN 42-169-0245, and further, that the road allowance is identified as PIN 42-169-0243, PIN 42-169-0244, and PIN 42-169-0245, and the property described as PIN 42-169-1062 be declared surplus to the requirements of the municipality, and further, that in accordance with notice bylaw number 144-2007, public notice is hereby given that council intends to declare these described lands as surplus to the needs of the municipality at its September 21st, 2021 meeting, and further, that council hereby authorizes a purchase and sale agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and 5901058 Manitoba Limited for the sale of the identified lands in the amount of $42,000, and further, that 3 readings be given to bylaws for these purposes.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 12.
Thank you, Your Worship. Resolution number 12 is moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Poirier, and it reads that Council hereby approves an application for zoning bylaw amendment, file number D142107, to change the zoning of a portion of the subject property from ML Light Industrial Zone to GC General Commercial Zone, and further, that Council gives 3 readings to a bylaw for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 13.
Resolution number 13, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Van Wallingham. The council gives 3 readings to a bylaw to appoint Leah Bailey as the Deputy Division Registrar and Lottery Licensing Officer for the City of Kenora, and further, that the appointment of Hannah Love be hereby repealed as Deputy Division Registrar for the City of Kenora.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 14.
Resolution number 14, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Poirier, that 3 readings be given to a bylaw to execute an amending agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and FedNor for the provision of the strategic planning process, and further, that the Mayor and Clerk be authorized to execute this agreement.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 15.
Resolution number 15, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Smith. That 3 readings be given to a bylaw to execute an agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and Food Cycle Science Corporation for the municipal subsidized purchase of 250 food cycler units in order to implement a food waste diversion pilot project with Food Cycle Science Corporation, and further, that the Mayor and Clerk be authorized to execute the agreement. If I might just comment on this, I went to a KDMA meeting last week and we presented this information. Some of them hadn't got that, so not only did we get Kenora into the recycling and stuff, but some of the other cities too are now looking at it. So look out in Red Lake and stuff, so that's a good news story for the whole area. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is carried. Resolution number 16.
Your Worship, resolution number 16, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that the council accept the bid of Moncrief Construction Limited at a special meeting of council on August 31st, 2021, related to the 2021 Kenora Area Landfill Perimeter Road Phase 1 construction works, and further, that council authorizes the Mayor and Clerk to execute an agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and Moncrief Construction Limited, and further, that 3 readings be given to a bylaw for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is carried. Resolution number 17.
Thank you, Your Worship. Resolution 17 is moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Van Willingham, and it reads that 3 readings be given to a bylaw to execute an agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation for the engagement of a program coordinator intern, and further that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute this agreement.
All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is carried. Resolution number 18.
Resolution number 18, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Chase, that 3 readings be given to a bylaw to execute an agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation for the engagement of an economic development intern, and further that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute this agreement.
All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is carried. Resolution number 19.
Resolution number 19, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Van Willingham, that Council of the City of Kenora hereby approves the write-off receivables list from the Provincial Offences Department for the period of January 1, 2014 to December 31st, 2014 in the amount of $63,375.89.
All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is carried. Resolution number 20.
Resolution number 20, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that Council hereby receives the following minutes from other various committees: June 28, 2021, Northwestern Health Unit, March 25th, 2021, and June 3rd, 2021, District of Kenora Home for the Aged, Board of Management, and further that these minutes be circulated and ordered filed.
All in favor? Opposed? Resolution carried. Resolution number 21, please.
Your Worship, resolution number 21, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Mullingham, that Council of the City of Kenora hereby accepts the July 2021 Kenora Water and Wastewater System Monthly Summary Report as prepared by City Administration.
At this time, Kevin, was there anything within the report that you wanted to highlight, or?
Not at this time, Your Worship.
All right, thank you. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is carried. Resolution number 22.
Thank you, Your Worship. Resolution number 22 is moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Goss, and it reads as follows. Whereas the City of Kenora passed Bylaw 33-2021 to adopt Amendment 2101 to the City of Kenora Official Plan, and Bylaw 34-2021 to amend the City of Kenora zoning bylaw on March 24th, 2021. And whereas the purpose of the amendments was to redesignate and rezone a portion of city-owned lands at 700 First Avenue, Kenora, currently known as Central Park, the effect of the amendments being to permit a portion of Central Park to be redesignated as established area, which will thereby permit residential development on the indicated lands. And whereas Bylaw 33-2021 and Bylaw 34-2021 have been appealed to the Ontario Land Tribunal, file number PL 210243, and whereas a case management conference for the OLT file PL 210243 has been scheduled for 10 a.m. Eastern on Thursday, October 7th, 2021, and whereas there was an administrative error in Bylaw 33-2021 in that Part B, the amendment, which has been reviewed by Council and clearly stated Council's intent to redesignate the lands, was inadvertently removed from the bylaw prior to its enactment. Whereas other minor typographical errors in Bylaw 33-2021 require correction, therefore be it resolved that Council directs its planning staff to ask the Ontario Land Tribunal to amend Bylaw 33-2021 to include Part B, the amendment, and to correct the other minor typographical errors as indicated in the draft bylaw that follows as Schedule A to this resolution.
All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is carried. Resolution number 23.
Resolution number 23, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Poirier, that the following bylaws be now read a first and second time and approved in their present form and presented for third and final reading. Number 120-2021, reformatory. Number 121-2021, the agreement with Boreal Datacom, IT services contract renewal. Number 122, 2021, noise bylaw. Number 123, 2021, agreement Chad Drop, KRC, Kenora Rec Center concession contract extension. Number 124, 2021, closure of roads and declare surplus land locally known as Evergreen Site. Number 125, 2021, agreement to purchase and sale 5901058, Manitoba Limited Evergreen Site. Number 126, 2021, zoning bylaw amendment D 1421 07661 9th Street North. Number 127, 2021, Deputy Division Registrar appointment Leah Bailey. Number 128, 2021, Kenora amending agreement strategic plan. Number 129, 2021, agreement with Food Cycle Science Corp. Food Cycler program. Number 130, 2021, agreement Moncrief construction Kenora area landfill perimeter construction. Number 131, 2021, NOHFC youth intern funding agreement Northwest Business Center. Number 132, 2021, NOHFC youth intern funding agreement economic development.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. We have no notices of motion, no proclamations. So for the announcements, we'll start with CAO Kyle Atanasio, please.
Did everybody else lose their Zoom?
Yeah,
I
that's my
just, I just dropped the meeting because the deputations are gone, so we don't need to be on Zoom anymore.
It's on me. Okay, so I just wanted to draw everybody, obviously you guys are all wearing your shirts. Very exciting day. We launched the City of Kenora Waves podcast yesterday. The first episode is up and you can listen to it now. Very proud to announce the launch of this podcast. The new podcast will provide on-demand audio content for Kenora residents to connect with and better understand the municipality. Hosted by Josh Nelson, Tourism and Recreation Manager, and Megan DeCucci, Economic Development Officer. The first episode consists of friendly discussion and interviews. The podcast format provides an opportunity to tell stories in a more personal and connected way, which cannot be done through other tools such as the website, social media. Storytelling is a priority for the city as we continue to enhance our communication strategy. And people remember stories a lot better than they do other bits and pieces of information. So we're hoping this will provide a unique format and unique access to residents of Kenora and beyond to learn more about the city. It offers an opportunity to offer deeper context around current issues, initiatives, and decisions that shape our community. Would like to give a shout out to Braden Murray from the museum who helped us with our name, so a little bit of a play on the waves on the lake in addition to the radio waves. I want to thank him for suggesting that. Very happy with the way the shirts have come out and the way the logo looks. And also just wanted to thank Kim Kasher, who has been a big supporter through us on this project and has helped us bring this to fruition in a very short time. It's just our first episode. We have lots more to come, so please stay tuned and look forward to that. And any listeners that have feedback on topics or issues that they'd be interested in hearing more about are invited to contact us at podcast@kenora.ca. And future episodes may feature audio content based on the suggestions we receive. So I just really want to congratulate the project team that have put a lot of work into bringing this to fruition, and just want to thank council for their support on the project. I have been receiving some positive feedback, and I'm very excited about where we're going to be able to take the project from here.
Thank you, Kyle. Councillor Van Wellingham, please.
Yeah, thank you. I had the opportunity to drop in the Discovery Center yesterday, and Morgan Seller took me on a tour of the place. I never realized that before, when they had the outboard motors, the antique outboard motors downstairs, there's about 10 or 12 of them. They've got different donations from these motors from around North America, and they now have close to 40 antique outboard motors there, and it's the largest collection of that in North America. So I urge anybody around the Discovery Center to stop in and look at it. It's really something to see the different motors. Thank you.
Thanks. Councillor Goss?
I have nothing today, Your Worship.
Councillor Smith?
Nothing today, Your Worship. Thank you.
Councillor Chase?
Nothing at this time, Your Worship. Thank you.
Councillor Corey? I only have one thing, and last night was the federal election, and I'd like to congratulate Eric Malelo for being re-elected as our MP. I'd also like to congratulate Janine Seymour, David Bruno, Craig Barton, and Remy Real. As anybody can attest that sits around this table, putting your name out to run in public is not always an easy thing. They all did a great job presenting their positions, and it was a very positive campaign. So I just want to congratulate everybody for their efforts and for their passion for their communities and for what they believe in. So again, congratulations there. Thank you. At this time, I call on resolution number 24, please.
Excuse me. Resolution number 24, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Poirier, that pursuant to Section 239 of the Municipal Act as amended, authorization is given for Council to move into a closed session at 12:40 p.m. to discuss items pertaining to the following. 1, Education and Training Members of Council, 3 matters, CAO and Mayor and Development Services update. 2, Labor Relations, 3 matters, negotiations, contract, recruitment, and retention.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Just 30 seconds, please.
We are adjourned.
Yes, thank you.
So do we want 5 minutes before we go into in camera? Everybody good with that?
She's got lunch.
Oh, okay.